Welcome everyone to the L7C podcast superhero edition. Today we were good fans and supporters. We gave you guys a week to see Doctor Strange on the Multiverse of Madness. We could have came right out and gave our review, but we wanted you guys to all see it because this is going to be spoiler filled. So spoilers, if you haven't seen it yet, make sure you go check it out. Number one movie in the world right now. But this, again, spoilers. So we got the captain with us, Byron Mitchell. How are you doing today, sir?
I've been having a great Friday. It's been a great Friday. The Saints got Jarvis Landry, which was not expecting. Wide receiver core is looking nice.
Yeah, and by the time you hear this, you might be hearing with the producer, Justin Akinel. We just did our NFL schedule stuff, and we did just talk about the Saints, too, getting Jarvis, because that came out of left field. And I asked the producer, what the hell were the Packers doing? They need a receiver, and they just let he's like, I actually didn't think of, what were they doing? So now you got the Saints team. Defense is always, they've been elite. Like, they're good. You got depending on how Chris Olave plays, you got a top 5 wide receiver core, depending on how he plays, how Michael Thomas is. The pieces are there to, at least, you were one away last year, as we just talked about before recording, one away from making the playoffs. With these additions, we still don't know if Kamara's going to jail, but
that's looming.
But we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. But they're here you'll hear the Justin, the whole NFL one, and then a couple months down the road, we might get the crew together, do some season previews. But you're here for the MCU, and we got you. Multiverse of Madness, Byron, just came out last week. The crew, as we do with the MCU big movies, we saw Thursday night, opening night premiere. It was little under 2 hours and 15 minutes. First, Byron, what'd you think of the movie?
I enjoyed this movie. Actually went to go see it twice last week, and I saw it on Thursday and on Saturday. I even enjoyed it more the second time around because there were some things I noticed the second time around that I didn't notice the first time.
So for those who don't know, this movie was based off of the multiverse, and it all centers actually around a girl named America's her superhero name.
Miss America's her super name. Her real name is America Chavez.
Yes, America Chavez, who has the single ability to travel between the multiverses. The only person in the MCU right now who has that ability, and she is being chased down by an evil threat. Last podcast, I've been saying it since the very first trailer in Spider-Man No Way Home, where they dropped the Doctor Strange trailer. And I said Wanda's going to be the bad guy. And I said it on the preview, and I asked you, I was like, hey, do you think Wanda's going to be the bad guy? Like, I don't know. And it was confirmed. Wanda was the bad guy of the movie.
I have to give credit where credit is due. You called that. I did not see that. So good take there, bud.
Thank you, Byron. It's just when watching that trailer, when they shouldn't have showed the line. That was the line that made me think she was the bad guy. When she said, and I quote, when you break the rules to Doctor Strange, you're seen as a hero. But when I break the rules, I'm seen as the enemy. That doesn't seem fair. I was like, oh, that's villain talk. That is villain talk.
You're correct. That is villain talk. But I thought, with Marvel trailers, you can never be too sure of anything. So that's why I was like, I don't know if she's going to be the villain, but that was one thing that they let slip out.
And I guess she was the villain, but she was also influenced by the Darkhold. So she was influenced by that too. But the reason she's the villain, guys, is that if you watch WandaVision, she wants her kids.
Yes.
So the Darkhold was showing her that in all the different multiverses, there's her with the kids, and she wants that. So how does she get to the multiverse? You need Miss America. So she was hunting her down throughout the multiverse, and you see a different Doctor Strange protecting her at the beginning, and then she kills him, and then she gets transported to the MCU's universe. And then Stephen Strange, who is at a wedding, Christine's wedding. You guys know her, Amy Adams. No, Rachel. Yeah, Rachel Adams. I'm sorry. I always get those two mixed up for some reason. But Rachel's character, who's in the first Doctor Strange, has been in the MCU since. She's getting married. So that's kind of, they had the romantic thing, but obviously he blinked for 5 years. She's marrying someone else. And then the guy sitting next to Doctor Strange, which I don't understand the significance at all, was like, "Hey, was that the only way we were gonna win?"
I think he was the rival doctor in the first movie.
Was that him? The guy who
I think it was.
When he was trying to fix Steven's hands and he's like, I would have figured it out. That's what Steven said. Or how like he bumped, like Steven came and helped with the surgery. Okay, well, that makes it. Like he was like, yeah, this is the only way. I was like, all right. So you start with that and then you go from there and alien attacks, which I was watching the GIF today. Stephen Strange's suit up in that is one of the cleanest ones.
Man jumps over a balcony with his cape and then does magic and his suit's on. It was cold.
And even before that, had the drink, took a sip, put it down.
Mm-hmm.
Like that suit up. I was watching that GIF today, and I'm trying not to like any Doctor Strange stuff because if I like it and people on my timeline, if they haven't seen the movie, yeah. But
same.
That transformation is hard.
Yeah, it is. One of the top transformation, like suit ups in the MCU.
But yeah, they were fighting, we're meeting her, Doctor Strange and them, Wong, Sorcerer Supreme Wong. They're eating, talking about the multiverse, and Doctor Strange, yeah, we have some experience, helping like Spider-Man. Doesn't call him Peter, so shows the spell. Erase Peter Parker, but did not erase Spider-Man. Obviously. And they go to Wanda, and they're in the orchard like the trailer. And then she's like, oh, how about you bring America here? And that's when the theater was just like, and Stephen Strange is like, I never told you her name. And then we were like, oh, no. And then take it from there, Byron.
That scene was wild because Doctor Strange is trying to recruit her to, help protect America from this evil entity that's chasing her through the multiverse. And then she says, oh, why don't you bring America here? I can protect her. And then like a couple minutes later, she's like, oh, I never said her name, did I? I mean, you never said her name, did I? He's like, no. And then like the scene changes into like this fiery forest. She changes into her badass Scarlet Witch costume from WandaVision. And you just see the Darkhold. She's like, the spell was easy, but the lie was the hardest part. And then she just goes over her plan, how she wants her kids back, and taking America's power is the only way she can go throughout the multiverse and, find her kids.
Yeah, and her plan was, just to go live with the kids, but then also kill her alternate version.
Yeah, it wasn't a well thought out plan. She like got the first, but didn't like think of it all because Doctor Strange actually brought that up when she attacked Carmitage. When she
attacked, she said, "This is your last chance. I'm showing mercy. Get this girl up."
She was wild in that first like scene. I never expected like them to do the movie the way they did, but like with that first scene, she literally took out the whole like Carmitage Defense Force. Like she got in this one guy's weak mind, and she said, "Run," and then it was just over from there.
Couldn't be me. But so Byron, I want to bring this up. I'm gonna throw this question a lot to you throughout the pod. So
okay,
that was the first big fight scene. Cosmetage, Magic Place, all these people. Wanda's coming. You're protecting this girl. You think Cosmetage is enough, whatever. But why would you not call any other person to help?
I don't know why you wouldn't call the other Avengers when one of the Avengers is, attacking this magical place of Carmitage.
And what do we always say? It's always your own.
It's always your own, yes.
And anything in life, the ones who betray you the hardest, it's always your own.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. Like, I thought about that too. But like I said, with the larger MCU scale, I know they don't have like Avengers plans for phase 4, but they still could have called like at least some of them to help.
I know, but we're making calls to Captain Marvel and the Hulk about 10 rings, but not when one of your own is blowing stuff up.
Right.
That's crazy. But so you go through that, and then they're fighting, man. They're trying so hard. And they're killing these people, like innocent people.
Oh, yeah. She didn't care.
So then Strange in America, they start going through the multiverse. You see that scene where they're just going through all the different different ones, which was
Multiverses.
really cool.
Yeah, I like how they did that. Like that when her power activates. So like in this scene, she says, "No, I can't." Well, later in the movie, you find out that she can't control her powers.
Mhm.
It only happens when she gets afraid. So of course, when Wanda's trying to kill her, she gets afraid, so her powers activate. And I like the way they did like the star-shaped portal, where you could see like through the multiverses, and like with each portal, you could see like different multiverses, and like how they went through it, and like it was just cool the way they traversed the multiverse in that first scene.
So Strange in America end up to the multiverse where you see the Doctor Strange there has a statue who died bravely defending the world from Thanos. You go there to that Sorcerer Supreme house or the Sanctum, and you have your first person. You got Mordo, who is back from Doctor Strange 1. Not the 616 Mordo, but that universe is Mordo.
Yeah. I think it was like Earth 8-1 something.
Mm-hmm. So then he's like, "Oh, our Stephen Strange knew this day would come, something. You're like, "Oh, this Mordo's cool."
Right.
But then you never take a drink at a stranger's house sometimes, man, especially when you're in the superhero business.
Right, because he drugged them, both of them. He's like, "What's in his tea?"
Both of them, caged them away. They wake up, you see that version of Christine, redheaded too, like red hair.
Yeah.
In that version. They keep America in there. And then they take him there, and then you saw this line in the trailer, which on the previews, you heard me mad that they dropped this because this would have got the theater pumped. Illuminati will see you now. Because Strange was asking, "So what are y'all about to do when Wanda comes here? Call the Avengers? S.H.I.E.L.D.? Hydra?" They're like, "Oh, we don't got those.
We got the Illuminati."
We got the Illuminati. And go ahead, Byron. This was a big moment for this movie.
This was a big moment. I said on the last podcast, I'm sure they have like some secret that they're keeping that they don't want people to know, even though they like spoiled it. So the Illuminati, you already know that Captain Carter's there. She's one of the Illuminati members. Professor X is also one of the Illuminati members. And so is this Earth's Baron Mordo. But come to find out, there's 3 other Illuminati members. There's Reed Richards, played by
John Krasinski. The biggest surprise.
The biggest surprise, played by John Krasinski, which everyone has been calling him to play Reed Richards since the MCU started. And then we have Monica Rambeau as Captain Marvel, and then we have I can't pronounce his like full name, but Black Bolt as the other member of the Illuminati, which was wild because the Inhumans had like their own TV show, but it basically died and failed. So to see him in an MCU movie was also wild.
Yeah, and then like the Captain we'll go there. With the Captain Marvel one, there was a lot of people who were disappointed in that because one, it was just it's in this universe, the best friend of Carol is the Captain Marvel here. But when those trailers came in, everyone thought it was going to be Superior Iron Man with Tom Cruise. That was the rumor for this movie. That I think was the biggest rumor of the movie, and it was not him. So that did let a lot of people down.
It did, but I didn't really give too much into that rumor that Tom Cruise was going to be in it. But I think with them not having him, but having John Krasinski as Reed Richards, I feel like that made up for it.
Yeah, Reed, that was huge because I did not expect that. That was a holy shit moment for me. It was like, oh my God, they actually did it. So for those who don't read the comics, the Illuminati is a group of the highest, not the strongest, but like the highest, I don't want to say class wise, highest influencers. Yeah, that's so if you watch The Circle, like influencers, the highest influencers in the 616 Marvel universe. So they make decisions behind the scenes of like the heroes that they don't know about. They don't know the Illuminati exists. Your partner doesn't know they exist, anything like that. It's just like the real life Illuminati, that they're steering the course of the direction of the superhero world. So one of the Illuminati there's Charles Xavier, obviously. The Dr. Martin Luther King of mutants. That's what he is. And obviously Tony Stark. He is a big influence in that superhero world, is one of the founders of the Avengers. Stephen Strange, Sorcerer Supreme. Reed Richards, So 4 people right there. T'Challa, Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
And the one who I thought they should have had, because the Black Panther movie's coming out in a couple months, Neymar.
Mm-hmm.
They should have had Neymar, because then everyone could be like, oh, this is Neymar. This is who we're expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Yada, yada. But it's the same purpose. They influence what's going on behind the scenes, and they make the decisions that no one else has to. So their own like secret club behind the secret club. But this group looked like it was their version of the Avengers. Mm-hmm. They were the main fighters. But Charles Xavier obviously came out last. Sir Patrick Stewart, one of the longest tenured superhero people of all time. Loved they had the 97 X-Men music on the 90s. That was fantastic.
Yes, and him rolling in the yellow wheelchair from the same TV show, which was great. I think that introduction was
it was fantastic.
Fantastic.
And it was also, some people have said the reason he came in the yellow chair, not like the steel chair he used in the X-Men movies, is because this one's going to be connected to the new X-Men cartoon coming out, potentially. So okay. Maybe they may use the cartoon to bring the mutants in, but now we have Xavier, so we'll see. Doctor Strange is explaining his stuff, and they're saying the most dangerous person in the multiverse is you, Steve. And I was like, damn, I don't know where y'all have been, But Byron, they told him the truth what happened to their Doctor Strange, and I was like, oh, they're kind of shady.
Yeah, the truth is that he used the Darkhold to find a universe where they defeated Thanos, but they couldn't. So then they found the book of Vishanti, which is like the antithesis to the Darkhold, and used that to defeat Thanos. Then after Thanos, they said, well, Stephen Stranger is still a threat because you could cause an incursion, which is like 2 multiverses overlapping each other. So it basically said, you got to go. And then Black Bolt basically said, I'm sorry, and blew him up.
Yeah, so they killed their own Stephen Strange and then made it look like a root that he died fighting Thanos, which you do see Thanos on a pike over there.
Which I didn't see the first time. I saw that the second time around. I was like, wow, I don't know why I didn't notice it the first time.
Yeah, and also forgot to mention that the Book of Ashanti is also what our Stephen Strange is looking at to find a way to beat Wanda.
Yes, because it gives like the user like whatever they desire.
And shout out to maybe the greatest comic like new age poster drawer of all time right now, Boss Logic. He drew Stephen Strange actually reading the Book of Ashanti for the singer Ashanti. So shout out to Boss Logic. He's goated. But you see that, and Wanda comes in, man, she finds them. Well, first they destroy that book over there. One of the sorcerers risked her life to destroy the book. And then Wong is like, well, because he was saving his people, the book is just a copy. There's a real one. Wong and her go to the temple, all those demon things. They're like, oh, they're not here to fight Wanda. They're here to greet her. And I was like, oh, my God, this is bad.
Yeah, that was a wild reveal because in this cave that they're at, there's like a stone carving of the Scarlet Witch in the back. And she's like, oh, this is not a tomb. This is a throne room. I'm like, excuse me?
I said, dang. One of our own got a throne room. Still no other Avengers. That's crazy. So then she's doing the stuff. She finds them. She takes control of a normal Wanda's body in that universe, leaves their kids. So, okay, children's services right there. But she busts into their little place and she just starts tearing it up.
They send a bunch of Ultron bots to fight her. She
Wrong choice.
Wipes them out, and then the Illuminati gets alerted, there's an intruder here. So they all leave Professor X and Mordo with Doctor Strange.
Well, yeah, and the Captain Marvel is like, we could handle Wanda. I was like, oh, this one. I was like, okay. I was like, all right. So they come there. And Reed Richards, who they introduced as the smartest person on the planet, made the dumbest move in the movie. He's like, oh, well, Black Bolt can, he can erase you with your mouth, which is true. But then why would you say that? Wanda's not a telepath. But then you're just like, what? And then she's like, what mouth? His mouth was gone. Then he dies. He's killed.
Right. 2 things about that. One, why would you give like your greatest weapon secret away? He literally said, oh yeah, he can kill you with his mouth. Okay, well, I'm just going to erase his mouth so he can't kill me. And then 2, if you're Black Bolt, why would you scream?
I mean, that's the thing too. I forget if he touched his face to see if his mouth was there.
You did, but like, why would you scream though? Like,
That
because
was,
you know your own power. So like, if you scream, there's no outlet. It's just has to go somewhere. Something's gonna explode your brain, which it did.
yeah, and like Wanda too and he dies. And then Reed Richards talking like, "Hey, I know what you're going. I'm a parent." Then she asked him, "Is like, is their mother still alive?" And then he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, we gonna get a Sue reveal? We're gonna get a." But then she says the line. She's like, "Well, at least they'll have one parent to raise." And when she said that, all sympathy, I was like, "Yeah, Wanda's got to get put down."
I'm not. That line was hard though. I'm not.
But she needed to be put down.
Yeah, she needed to be put down. But that line was so hard. I'm like, damn. You
And
just gonna leave his kids orphan like that?
And I was like, so you're doing the thing that you don't want, okay, but to your whatever. So then she literally unravels, dude. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know who booked this match. I don't know if it was Vince Russo, whoever, but they were getting hoed. And then you have Captain Carter, who I do really like Haley a lot. Like obviously she hit one a couple times. You know she had to get the "I can do this all day" line in, but she literally gets cut by her own shield. And when that happened, I said that wouldn't happen to Steve. I guarantee it.
That would not happen to Captain Steve Rogers.
And then Captain Marvel's like, "All right, what you about to do?" And then she gets smoked. She has a couple blasts, but she gets smoked too. I'm sitting there thinking like, dang, this universe has no Thor, no Hulk.
No Thor, no Hulk.
We don't got a communicator. Like Professor Xavier, he was then trying to talk to the Wanda inside Wanda's head. Yeah. Saying like, hey, an evil Wanda's controlling you. And then she snapped his neck. I was like, all right, first of all, I get it. It's your movie, but I don't think you would have just gone out like that.
No, the strongest telepath in all of
MCU.
Yeah, Marvel MCU history. He's not getting taken out by a neck crack. So he sensed her. Like he could have did something.
But hey, we get it. When it's not your movie, you don't get that type of right. So he's wrecking shop. So it's up to Strange, Christine there, and America. They're running. They get to the book. They find the book, which I do like how the code was in the watch. That was cool for every multiversal Strange. That was cool. But then book gets wrecked. I'm like, damn, this is bad.
The book gets wrecked. She takes America, makes her afraid, so she opens a portal. Somehow she opens a portal to Earth 616, throws her through the portal to Evil Wanda, closes portal, and then Evil Wanda stops having control of this Earth's Wanda, and then this Earth's Wanda says, "My kids," and then flies back to be with her kids, and then just Christine and Doctor Strange are just like there.
It's crazy how we got to.
Wait, no, I forgot. Before she threw America to Earth 616, she opened up a portal and then threw Doctor Strange and Christine to like this dark New York.
Yeah. It's crazy how Wanda got to a point where protected innocent. Now we out here willing to kill innocent kids.
Yeah, because if you take America's power, she's gonna die.
She dies. I'm like, dang. What happened to the Wanda who wouldn't want that stuff? Because you got experimented on it. All that just was all right. So then you got the Strange and Christine team up. The Lovebergs across multiverses. They go. That universe is even like the Sanctum Supreme is still up, but that Strange, he did use the Darkhold and cause the incursion, and it looked poopy over there.
Oh yeah, it was chaos everywhere. It was like all black and gray, and there was literally no life there except for Doctor Strange.
So then they have their fight. I liked it using the notes on music sheets. I like that a lot.
It was okay for me. I don't know. I didn't enjoy it as much.
It was different. Maybe that's why I liked it.
Yeah, it was different. I mean, it was cool, like using musical notes, and then like music going everywhere. It was cool.
Then you go back to 616 though. She has America. Wong is trying to fight. When she pushed Wong off, I thought he died.
Oh, same. I was like, well, that's it for Wong. I guess we're gonna have another death in this movie.
Because he threw his little sling, like the hook, and it didn't happen. I was like, oh, he's dead. He got blasted off that freaking ice thing.
Yeah, he said, yeah, I know I'm about to die, but I'm going to give you this quick speech before that, though.
Oh, well, that's the worst. I'm like, dang, you really out here killing your own. Some of these sorcerers are out here fighting Thanos with you in Endgame.
Right.
When Doctor Strange said it could get you back on the lung, I think that's dead. I talked to someone. I don't know how she comes back, and I don't think she can repent from this, man.
I don't think she can. So either she tries to and it doesn't go well, and then she just says, you know what, I'm just gonna be a supervillain, or she just goes full supervillain mode after this.
I mean, I think she was already full. She was out here killing innocent people with to kill a kid.
That's true, but like when I say full supervillain, I mean like
blowing
the comics. The comics, No More Mutants, supervillain.
Well,
yeah.
Well, hopefully, some of these heavy hitters in space come back to Earth.
No, they're all for protecting the universe from unknown threats.
Well, there's no more unknown threats. Byron, we're at a point too where it's like, is the Phase 4 villain right in front of us? Is it Wanda?
It's either Wanda or Kang.
Oh, we're just gonna forget freaking the Judge Celestial who pulled up to Earth.
Oh yeah, shoot, I forgot about him.
And said, "All right, y'all could be cool. Y'all coming with me though." Still one of my favorite scenes in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "But if Earth is trash, judgment is coming."
Please, Earth, don't be trash.
Because the way I don't know if we fighting Celestials, Kang, and Wanda all at the same time.
But that would be a team up. That would be. Oh God!
But we'll talk about that later. So you keep going through the movie. R. Strange 616. He has to use the Darkhold to, and he does some of the. This was a horror movie. He brings back the dead Strange who died, fight like with America in the first part of the movie. Possesses his body to go save America and fight Wanda. That was some creepy stuff.
It was creepy. I didn't expect this movie to be horror like this, but it definitely had some very cool horror elements. Like you said, repossessing that Doctor Strange, having zombie Doctor Strange from the trailer. Earlier in the movie, when Wanda was in the Mirrorverse, how she came out of that gong and was like all deformed and like straightened back up. That was cool. Yeah, there was a lot of cool horror elements in this.
He shows up. Wong's like, Strange, I don't even want to know. He's fighting. They're fighting Wanda. America's like, I know what you got to do. You got to take my powers. You got to kill me. Because that's what the other Strange was going to do to protect the multiverse. And Strange was saying, this Strange, he was like, no, I believe in you. I think also he was very influenced from No Way Home.
Yeah.
Because the last kid now he doesn't know Peter, but the last person he kept calling kid all the time was Peter. Peter was always seen as the kid. Like, that's what people called him. Like, Tony called him, like, anytime, like, oh, I lost the kid, and yada, yada. But now America's now the kid. So maybe he was remembering what Spider-Man told him. Was like, hey, man, we were able to change 6 villains' fates.
Right.
So, like, you just got to believe. And he was just like, nah, I believe in you. You can do it. Of course. Then America gets up. And she starts controlling those powers. She starts punching. I'm like, man, that's crazy. You could punch someone and punch them into a different multiverse. That's pretty powerful.
She almost did. She almost that first multiverse she opened was like into this hellscape that Wanda almost went through. But somehow Wanda got to fight back, and then she opened up another portal to the regular Wanda and her kids.
Well, Byron, before that, remember when I always say that when you're fighting a villain or when you're fighting anyone in general in life, and they start laughing or saying, no, this ain't the fight for you. When that second punch hit Wanda, she was like, no. I was like, oh no. That's not a fight you want to be in.
Nah, she would have, if she like went full power, she would have wrecked America.
Because that's just like when Green Goblin was getting smacked by Peter Parker in the apartment. He was laughing. I was like, oh, Peter, this one's not for you.
Nope. Then he got slammed through 4 floors.
Yeah. When the bad guy's smiling, when you're hitting them, that is never for you. But America, as a teenager, she was smart. She's like, I'll give you what you want. Blasted her in front of, I don't know if that was the same universe that she just
I think it was. Because it looked like the same Wanda that just went through that gauntlet of the Illuminati.
Yeah, she was weak. She didn't protect the kid. And like kids were like, and no, don't hurt us. And she was like, I'll never hurt you. But then she was looking at herself like she was a monster, which she was. And I was like, so is this how we're about to win? So then like that Wanda comes and like does the interaction with our Wanda. And then Wanda comes back. She doesn't do No More Mutants at all, but she does No More Darkhold. She erases them throughout all of the multiverses. Yes. So she could be never tempted again.
Which is smart.
It's a good move. I don't that's not enough to atone, but it was smart. But then it collapses on her. You think she's dead?
No, I think she's coming back. Okay. I don't know when or where, but I feel like she's coming back.
Okay. Then Cosmotage opens, like you're back there. America's training. So I was like, damn, we're gonna give her abilities to just sling ring and go to different portal. Okay. That's someone we need to keep our eyes on for the future. Strange. And he finally, that was another thing, the whole gag of you're supposed to bow for the Sorcerer Supreme, does it at the end. You know, that's his boy. But first post-credit scene. Strange is coming out of his house, man, living good. All of that. And then you take it away, Byron.
So Charlize Theron appears and basically says, you caused an incursion, let's go. Opens up a portal to the dark dimension with Dormammu. She says, unless you're afraid. And then you see at this point, at the end of the movie, you see that Doctor Strange has a third eye from using the Darkhold. So he says, no, I'm not afraid. And then they go into this dark dimension. After researching, Charlize Theron plays a character called Clea.
Yes.
Who is the niece of Dormammu, which is wild.
Family drama. Here we go.
Right, family drama. But in the comics, she eventually marries Doctor Strange.
Yes. So this is supposed to be the person who he is finally over Christine and marries, which we'll see if we get to that point here. We did get Doctor Strange will return. We didn't get Wanda will return, but, you know. So that was really then the end of the movie. The guy who was hitting himself the whole time stopped.
It's over.
And I was like, all right. But Raimi puts that guy in all of his movies.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell.
So we get there. Byron, like, where are we? We don't have long to wait because it's May 13th right now. In a couple of weeks, it's June, and then we're 1 month away from Thor. So we do not have long to like really just sit on this.
No, we don't have long. Yeah, I don't know where we go from here.
And even before Thor, we have Miss Marvel coming out in June.
Yep, Miss Marvel on Disney Plus comes out June 8th.
And Miss Marvel will be in Captain Marvel's movie. So will we get a Carol Danvers appearance in this show?
I don't know. Because with the way they're doing Miss Marvel, it looks like she has this alien artifact that gives her like this cosmic power to change her shape. Because in the comics, she's an Inhuman who has a polymorph ability, but it looks like they're changing it. In the MCU, which has a lot of people on Twitter and a lot of fans mad, but
it's a very controversial thing right now.
Yeah, because they really haven't introduced Inhumans in the movie. Well, in the MCU outside of Black Bolt, who says he's a leader of like the keeper of the Terrigen Mist or whatever. So in Earth 616, they haven't introduced Inhumans, which is a huge part of Marvel lore. So a lot of people are upset with the way they're changing Miss Marvel's powers.
This is big because you're a big Miss Marvel person.
I'm a big Miss Marvel person. I main her in the Avengers game. So I'm just going to wait and see, you know, how they do it in the first episode. Like, is it a justifiable change? Like, we'll see.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, too, where it only gets me, because I always do stand up for the TV shows. And, like, you had a whole show that was involved with the Inhumans and all that. And if you wanted to get her powers through the mist, all you have to do is just show at the beginning of the movie the flashback of like the last episode of Inhumans. and you see Kamala get hit with the mist, but then her parents keep it quiet, like the game, like
right.
So, but that's just for like, hey man, if you already brought Black Bolt in, like I know it's a different universe, let's just tie it in because you have the abilities. But they wanted to make it different, which, like you said, we're gonna have to wait and see. I just want to know the reason I brought up Captain Marvel. That's who she looks up to. That is the reason she's named after. That's the reason her outfit's the way it is. So if she's going to be in Captain Marvel's movie, which the actress actually talked about on Twitter, then Captain Marvel needs to like show up. You can't just show up in Captain Marvel's movie with no like prior talking to the person.
Right. I feel like you said, I feel like they have to because, like I said, it's like an alien artifact that gives her powers.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Captain Marvel is going to want to investigate, and hopefully, because she was in the 10 Rings at the end investigating.
That was wild.
10 Rings.
Still did not expect her.
Right.
I was like, dang, we went from Endgame to this too. That's crazy. But we need a bigger thing from him. Because Byron, I'm gonna ask you, man. I think I've asked you this now almost every Marvel podcast we've done since being on the L7C.
Mm-hmm.
What is an Avengers level threat?
I don't know anymore. Because first it was, Thanos and the whole Infinity Gauntlet thing.
Loki was an Avengers level threat.
Loki was an Avengers level threat. Ultron was an Avengers level threat. But I don't know what an Avengers level threat is because they had the Celestial coming out of Earth and no one showed up. That a Celestial showing himself in the sky and no one showed up. They had one of their own basically wrecking shop and no one showed up. So I don't know what Avengers level threat is anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of crazy because No Way Home, at least we had Strange and Peter throughout the movie. Then we also got the 3 Peters. So that was
also that you for bringing up No Way Home, the sky ripping open and almost everyone coming through and no one showed up.
In New York, where most of these people live.
Right.
Like, it's so interesting because it's like one of those things like, guys, Doctor Strange even said in that movie with Peter, he's like, man, we saved half the universe together. You don't have to call me doctor. Mm-hmm. So what do we, like, these threats are getting bigger and bigger. And we don't know who it's going to be. Like we talked about earlier, Kang, I think is looking like the one. I think he's supposed to be in Ant-Man 3, which is so crazy to say out loud, Ant-Man 3. So he's looking like the one. But then the Eternals, dude said he's coming back for Judgment. And they said they're coming back.
Yeah.
So, and you also had Blade's voice at the end. We didn't get to see what he looked like. So you got that stuff. With Wanda, we don't know where she's going to stand and what her team's going to stand, because when you look at Wanda's history, Wanda has been the problem for a lot of their problems since she's been introduced.
Yep, she was first introduced in Ultron. Mm-hmm. She was with Claw.
Yep.
Yeah. She was with Claw. She was with Hydra, and then she eventually teamed up with Ultron, her and Quicksilver.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a problem. In Civil War, in Ultron, she basically dropped.
She's the reason she didn't protect it because her brother died, lost focus, and
the reason why Sokovia basically destroyed everything. Civil War, she basically blew up a building because she couldn't contain Crossroads.
She was the final straw for the Accords. And then I was even watching that thing where Wanda's like, you're saying they'll come for me, and Vision's like, we'll protect you. Hindsight is 2020. Now I was like, damn, I don't know, man. Maybe I should have let her be.
Yeah.
Infinity War, she was taking, I get it, loves Vision. She was taking her sweet old time blowing up that stone. And then obviously he reversed time, did all that jazz. She would have blew it up earlier. It would have been easy peasy. And then Endgame, I mean, she came in hard when she's like, you took everything from me. And then I was like, I don't even know who you are. And she's like, you will. And then he had to really just write it down. WandaVision, we know what she did there. Westview took over that whole place. And now we have this. Like, she does not have a good track record at all. And my problem with the Avengers, and I see this meme all the time with the Eternals, since the original 6 are like done in a way, either passed away or their mantle's been passed, well, all of their all their mantles have actually been passed, except for, I mean, Thor's is going to be this movie, and Hulk is going to be in She-Hulk.
Yeah.
But the communication is terrible because this is one of your own, and you are not checking up on her. Like, what happened to that brother-sister bond that, like, they made Clint and Wanda have in Avengers 2, Civil War, and Endgame?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like you'd be the first one to, like, check up on her, unless the events of Hawkeye were going on the same time this was going on.
I know, and I hate that excuse for all of their stuff. Everything, the world's just going to hell on the same day, every day.
Right.
But my thing, too, is like, Hawkeye would have been the best person because he was like, hey, I know what you're going through. Right. I lost my family, and I went down a dark path, too, and Black Widow saved me. Like, he would have been the best one. He knows what she's going through.
Yeah. It would have been cool if he had showed up in the movie.
But I get it. Contracts, they have a bigger story to tell. Like, I know. It's just like, that type of stuff bothers me because it's not like they don't all know each other now. That's going to be in the news. The world's going to be sitting there like, dang, this is why we had the Accords, because shit like this.
That's true. Now that you mention it, maybe it is the Accords' fault. Because, like, basically the Accord says, you guys really can't do anything unless we call you.
Yeah, that's true. But do the Accords even exist anymore because of after Endgame? They're the reason they lost to Thanos the first time.
That's also true. Things should have to ponder about.
Things could have been. It's hindsight, but things should have been handled so differently in Civil War that none of this stuff would have happened. And then when she's like, "Don't talk to me about sacrifice, Stephen Strange," I was like, "Bro, he had to sacrifice half the universe to come back and beat Thanos."
Right. He saw 14 million possibilities. I only saw one where we all could beat Thanos. Like,
and that's a whole other issue. The Avengers can't be that trash. They are not that bad.
True.
You're not telling me there's not another one where Thor actually went for the head and ended it, or Quill did it and actually lose his mind.
That all been avoided. If Peter Quill wasn't Peter Quill. Going after Gamora.
He'll be in 2. He'll be in Thor 4 and Guardians 3. Chris Pratt's out there eating again, especially with Jurassic coming out next month. But there's just so much questions after this movie, man. There really is. Like, Strange is gonna we're going back to Dormammu. Like, we don't have the time stone anymore. We can't bargain.
Right. Maybe his niece will help, smooth things over.
And it's like, oh, we caused an incursion. I was like, all right, so you come in now. Where were you at when Thanos was wrecking shop?
I don't know.
It's crazy. It's so crazy. So much questions. But I did like the movie. There's just some things where I was just like, hey, we're gonna call for some help. Like, but I feel like the commercials ruined it for me because I would have got hyped if I would have saw that shield. Like, without commercial.
Yeah, the commercials did give away
too much.
Like the chair, the Illuminati, Captain Carter. Hopefully, because I know Kevin Feige was upset with it, so hopefully going further, they reduce, like, giving away too much in the trailers. Because, like, in the Thor 2 trailer, Thor 4 trailer, the first one, they didn't really really didn't give anything away except for, like, the reveal of Jane, but we all knew she was coming.
Yeah, and let's not wait until July to drop the next trailer, guys. That was waiting way too long.
Yeah. It's because your movie comes out in 2 months. At least drop something in June.
Yeah, because then you're gonna have the commercials coming out. Like, come on, guys, let's because I feel like the second trailer they're gonna veil Christian.
They have to, because everyone knows he's a villain.
So I feel like that's a whole other thing when we preview that. Like, so this hammer is we just went to Sweden and got this hammer back.
Yeah, I can't wait till I explain that in the movie, like how she got a broken hammer in millions of pieces and put it back together.
It's gonna be crazy. But what would you rate Doctor Strange out of 10?
I would give it an 8.
Give it 7.5. I give it 7.5. Trailers. I think trailers are the reason I knock it down from like an 8.
Yeah, The way they had the trailer is way different than like what the movie was. Because I thought like there's gonna be that Wanda wasn't gonna be the big bad. There's gonna be this big bad that's like traveling the multiverse to get to America or something. I actually thought it was gonna be like the evil Doctor Strange that he fought at the end. That was gonna be the big bad because of the way the trailers were, but it was totally different. Like I said, I enjoyed it. You could definitely tell it was a Sam Raimi movie because like some of the like shots in the movie just reminded me of like the first Spider-Man, like when Mordo was telling Doctor Strange in America of like dream walking, and there's like these interlooping like shots of like Wanda in the background doing the stuff that Mordo was talking about, but Mordo's in the foreground. Just reminded me of that scene in the first Spider-Man where he's drawing his suits and you like see his face and like see the paper at the same time.
No, I hear you, man. No, it was a good movie. Definitely go out and see it. It has implications, obviously, for the MCU going forward. I mean, we're gonna be back. We're gonna be back in June. We're probably gonna have 2 episodes for y'all. We're gonna obviously talk about Miss Marvel and how that ends, and we're gonna dedicate a whole podcast to what's going on in the Arrowverse because it's not even just the Arrowverse, CW in general, because it is wild.
Yeah, they are wilding out here.
So you're gonna get 2 superhero pods from us in June. For that being said, Captain, you got anything else?
Go see Doctor Strange. Like Martin said, highly recommend it. And if you haven't seen it, watch Moon Knight. That was a good series. It actually just ended the week that Doctor Strange came out. The episode 6, the finale episode was really good. I don't know if it's going to have implications on like the larger MCU because there was like no MCU cameos in it, which I think made the story that much better. We don't know if it's going to get a season 2 or if Moon Knight's going to be like in the movies, but I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I agree with him. I think Moon Knight, you can have a thing. You got Moon Knight, Blade, Daredevil, Dark Knight. You can have a Dark Avengers.
That would be dope.
Have the grittier guys do it, but we'll see. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the L7C podcast. Check out Doctor Strange in theaters, #1 movie in the world right now. And we'll be back in a couple weeks in June, giving some more superhero content, how Miss Marvel's going, Arrowverse updates, and I guess, next time with the Miss Marvel, you'll be hearing our Thor preview.
Yep.
Because the Thor comes out the first week of July, so you're going to hear from us in June.
You sure will.
But once again, thank you, everyone, for listening to the L7C podcast. You guys take care.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.